How you do that there? How you do that there? And I ain't mad about it. I am your man's Nic Rattlehead. And behind this camera is my brother, my pal, my compadre, my amigo. My man's with the master plan, 100 grand, only you, me, and God knows how much I love this guy, man. Tell him what your name is. Matt the Graff. Matt the Graff. And we are Aftershock Reviews, your place for the best extreme music reviews, man. And today I submit before you another pulsating, throat-shredding hardcore offering. And the name of this album is called Incarceration by Year of the Night. So if anybody is familiar with Aftershock Reviews, you already know that I kind of dig this band, right? But at the end of the day, you still have to be objective, sort of, which when you're talking about music reviews, can you really be objective, or is it really all just purely subjective? But another song, another sermon. But I already really dug this band, but I really wanted to give Internal Incarceration a clean listen. So I kind of waited a little bit. And boy, they don't disappoint me, man. If anything, what I really enjoy about this album is its clear progression, right? Clear progression. Because if anybody was aware of Ultimate Aggression from last year, which was a compilation of multiple songs that they had released prior through various EPs and things of that nature, you will know that I really dug that album because of its mix, right? I really enjoyed that album due to Madison's just downright nasty bass. It took no precedence. It was gross. And I really enjoyed a lot of the subject matter when it came to songs like Blue Lives or like Evil or Fatal or even the opener YOTK, right? But this album took everything that I really enjoyed about that album, the vulnerability of the lyrics, right? But in its outright, no holds bars, balls delivery, right? And at the same time, they really were able to kind of hit at their straight edge lifestyle, but not really beat you over the head with it. Yes, there were songs that really did tackle substance abuse and things of that nature, but it was really a good opportunity for them to bring other subject matter to the forefront. So with that in mind, I was like, I'm probably going to dig this album. Oh, it's so good. But before we really get into the track listing, let's go into our role players. So on this album, yet again, no lineup changes, which is always so wonderful. But for those who are uninitiated, let's actually count them out. We have Tyler Mullen, who is the vocalist. And we're going to get into him in a second. It's good stuff. Tyler Mullen on vocals. And then we have brothers. So, bro, this is a family affair. Let's play some Sly in this place. And we have brothers, Aaron and Andrew. Here we go. Aaron and Andrew Aaron and Andrew K, because I can't pronounce that last name. If they're watching it, please show me how to pronounce your last name, because I can't say it. But until then, I'm going to say Andrew and Aaron K on guitar and drums. And then we have a married couple in this band too, so it truly is a family affair. We have Brandon and Madison Watkins. Brandon is on guitars and Madison on that bass. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You hit it, Mr. Bass Woman. And this album, like I said before, is an expansion of everything that was great. And why is that, Nick? Why does it feel like it's an expansion? Because first and foremost, it's the production, right? Now, I really did like the up close and personal delivery of that production, right? It almost felt like you were in some type of rundown venue, and Tyler is like right in front of your face, screaming, and it's like spitting, elbows and knees are flying everywhere, right? And I really enjoyed that about that production. But here, it's even more opened up and even more pronounced, right? And why is that? We have Mr. Kurt Ballou helping these guys out on recording and mixing. Ooh, boy. Now, anybody who knows anything knows Kurt Ballou from Converge, right? But he's also done production work on Nails' albums. I think he's done the production on all of them, actually. He did production for Code Orange's Good album, Forever. He also did production on Chelsea Wolfe's His Spun album. He's also done production on Full of Hell's Trumpeting Ecstasy and last year's Weeping Choir. So this man, Black Breath, all of that junk. This man knows his way around extreme music. And what he does here is he take what was already somewhat glistening in the light and then shines it up with the rest of the band and helps it truly glow. And it is absolutely great. And not only does he address it when it comes to like the guitar tones, because yes, it has this Swedish worship with a lot of crust and a lot of punk and a lot of hardcore elements attached to it as well. But he also really helps Tyler. We're going back to Tyler now. It really helps Tyler when it comes to his vocals. Why is he helping Tyler with his vocals? Because on Ultimate Aggression, and it's so funny, like when Ultimate Aggression came out, I was like, man, this stuff is great. And then you hear them get better, and then you start finding, I don't want to say flaws, but you start finding where he came from. Like you see how he's grown, right? Because it almost sounds like he's singing from the back of his throat when it came to Ultimate Aggression. Like, no, it's not like that anymore. It really feels like it's coming from his diaphragm or it's coming from his chest, right? And with that, it resonates more, it bellows more, it rings more, and it's great. It's so awesome. And everybody benefits from this. Everybody benefits from the expertise, the discernment, the wisdom that came from working with Kurt Ballou, and I really appreciate that. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get to it. This is 13 songs, and this comes in at 32 minutes. So it's yet again, it's not that long, especially when you really think 13 tracks, 32 minutes. These tracks really don't leave room for fluff. These tracks really don't leave room for excess fat, so to speak, right? These tracks are like, we're going to get in, hit you with what we need to hit you with, and we're going to be out. And speaking of hitting you what we need to hit you with, the lyrical quality of these songs have gone up. And it's really great, right? Because like I said before, the previous offering really did focus on a lot of the social and political climate, right? Where it's looking more externally. So like, you know, police brutality and the straight edge society and stuff like that, right? That's the ice cream, man. Mom wants some ice cream. I'll get some later. It's focusing on that stuff, right? But this album, instead of looking outward, it is now looking inward. This album is very sad. This album talks a lot about depression, and it talks a lot about sadness, and it talks a lot about mental health and things of that nature. Hence the name Internal Incarceration, but we'll get to that when we get into the track listing, which we're about to do right now. I really want some ice cream. The opening track for this album is called This Time. And it is a rip-roaring, 100% old-school hardcore affair. And I absolutely love it. It comes with a full head of steam. We got pummeling percussion. We got blaring Kurt Ballou, sweet death, crust punk guitars, right? It sounds like, yet again, just like on Chelsea Wolf's album, just like on Code Orange's album, just like on Nails' album, it sounds like, instead of like actual guitars, it sounds like motorcycles or something else like that have been tuned to make a note. It's great. It's absolutely wonderful. And it's like a shot of adrenaline straight to the vein. It's so good. It's so good. And then we go into Virtual Narcotic, right? Now, Virtual Narcotic is a great little track that talks about our dependency on technology, more so specifically to our phones, right? Where they make references to us being like walking zombies and things of that nature. This is not new lyrical content so far as hardcore is concerned, especially this year, especially with Code Orange's album, Underneath, that came out earlier this year, I think in January. So it's not new subject matter, but the way that they do it, it's so to the point. It's so direct. It's not beating around the bush, right? And I adore that about this song. And I adore that about the rest of the album, right? Because the great thing when it comes to Kurt Ballou is, it's like, he really seems like he really wants to get to the point. Give me some ice cream, bro. Give me some ice cream. You know what? I'm gonna hunt him down. It's not a game. I really do enjoy when Kurt Ballou gets into an album with people, he gets to the point. Case in point, we're talking about Nails. We're talking about Nails a lot. When you listen to a Nails album, I really do enjoy the fact that Todd and crew say, okay, cool. We know when you're trying to listen to a song and you hit that really great sweet spot, you hit the best part of the song, right? But you have to like go through like maybe 2 minutes in order to get there. No, our songs are all the good stuff. And that's the same thing here. The same thing here. Virtual Narcotic wastes no time. And the whole thing is butter. The whole thing is the chewy nougat on the inside of your Snickers bar. Oh, it's good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. But manipulation artist. Let me tell you something. Now, manipulation artist is a sea of tempo changes and that now open, throaty, shrill scream from Tyler and the snarling, buzzing bass from Madison. The percussion is blurry, but it has, and I kid you not, the best breakdown on this album. Oh my gosh. You That's good. It hits you here, and it's great. And the only thing I don't like about it, it's the only thing, it's too short. It comes at the end of the track, and it's literally maybe 20 seconds long. That's it. And I'm like, no. This should have been in somewhere in the middle, and you should have given me 5 minutes of this. This hard body. Oh my gosh. Hard body. Harms way wish that they were that hard. But they ain't. This is great. Oh my gosh, this is great. It's great. Now, as we continue to go throughout most of the track listing, right, we are still, and the great thing is this album, just like Ultimate Aggression, doesn't feel one note. It doesn't feel in one note instrumentally, and it doesn't feel one note lyrically. And the reason I say this is because we get to a track called Eviction, right? And I really enjoy this track because it goes back to what I was saying earlier, that this album really does tackle different lyrical themes. On top of that, it feels more vulnerable because Eviction is talking about the emotional ramifications about divorce, right? What does it do to the wife? Or what does it do to the husband? What does it do to the kids? Or what does it do to both wives and the kids, or both husbands and the kids, right? What does it do to that couple and to that family, right? And I want to read a lyric because it's really good. And it says this, and I quote, "Divorce breeds the pain. Two lovers lost their way. Trauma scars the home, so the kids result from blame. Mom's eating cleaning tablets to kill herself because she can't cope with the bills. Suffering from the need of pills." So now, because of she's trying to cope with like losing her significant other, right? Or separating from her significant other, right? She turns to other things to kind of disassociate, to try to cope with all of that mess, right? That's deep stuff, right? And there's another lyric that goes on talking about what the father's going through, right? And what the kids are going through is actually the chorus. It's phenomenal writing, right? It's really great writing. And this level of vulnerability juxtaposed to the coarseness of the guitars and the musicality of it is really great. It's really great stuff. And then on top of that, if we want to keep talking about like great lyrics, right? We can talk about the title track, Internal Incarceration, right? Now, this one is like near the middle of the album, right? But it's really good. It has yet again another blistering, holy cow, breakdown. And here's the thing. When we're talking about breakdowns, and we have to talk about breakdowns when it comes to a hardcore album, the breakdowns, yet again, just like Ultimate Aggression, aren't necessarily just telegraphed. They're not just waving a flag saying, here comes the breakdown. They're not doing that, right? They feel organic. They feel earned. They feel like they are a natural progression of the song. And it doesn't feel like they're just plastered at the end or plastered in the middle just to have the mosh pit moment. It's actually really good. And here's the thing when it comes to Internal Incarceration, because at the end of the day, it's like almost like a prisoner of the mind type of thing, right? And when you do allow yourself to become almost trapped in your own mind, right? There are a lot of emotional and maybe even manifest into physical repercussions that can come to that, right? But how do you break through that? How do you deal with that? And you deal with that by talking to people. And here's the thing, especially when we're talking about, you know, the situation that we're in right now as a society, it's easy, especially in our isolation, to stay to ourselves, to not reach out to people, to not continue to try and cultivate relationships with people. Because when you do that, you're able to be like, hey, bro, like I'm having a tough time being by myself. I'm having a tough time just being so isolated all the time, right? And some people don't understand what that can do to your physical, not to your physical, but your mental well-being, your mental health, right? And I really do, oh my gosh, I love this about this track. And here's a lyric, yet again, because like I said before, like lyrically, this album is really good. And it says this, and I quote, "Even your innocence, thinking back as a kid, what being alone did, it's not so pretty now. That's where addiction was found." Ramifications, right? "I'd burn the houses down into a hole in the ground, and I'd burn them down again, and I'd make it evident with satisfaction just to laugh at these effing flames." You burn down these strongholds that isolation can bring by talking to people, by getting help, right? Like depression and things of that nature can spawn from isolation. But I think what they might be trying to say is be able to identify that and then get the help you need. Talk to somebody, right? It's the fact that you can think like that when you're talking about an extreme metal song is actually really, it's so wonderful and it's so refreshing. And that's what I have to really say about this band. They are refreshing. They are just a breath of fresh air in what can almost be like a crowded market of hardcore acts. Now, this year, there have been some really good hardcore acts, in particular, Gulch. Anybody who knows me knows that I just absolutely love that album. This one, though, I really do love the different tones that hardcore is bringing. The noisy, technicolor, static-filled, technology cursing. It's weird. I'm trying to describe this Code Orange Underneath album, but aside from just saying bad, but that thing where they're trying to be experimental, and I do respect that. They're trying to be experimental. The experimentalness of Code Orange's Underneath will probably appeal to a lot of people, right? Absolutely great. Completely understand that. The embrace of nihilism and excess, right, is the Gulch album. This album is way more vulnerable, but never sacrificing on how pummeling and how coarse it is, right? I absolutely love this album. Absolutely love this album. And I highly suggest that anybody watching within the sound of my voice, within the view of my eyes, check this out. The name of this album again is Internal Incarceration by Year of the Knife. I don't know where my mind went just then. Bear with me. I'm sorry. I guess I'm just still a little hyped because champs, baby. This is for you, Kobe. Ha, boy. I am your man's Nic Rattlehead. And behind this camera is my man's with the master plan 100 grand. Only you, me, and God knows how much I love this guy, man. Tell him one more time, what's your name? Matt the Graff. Matt the Graff. Wash your hands, support your bands. Peace. How you do that, girl?